Many, many years ago, my mom came to me and she said, Irma, I have a story that you can tell the children. And I said, sure, what story? She said, it's an incident that happened to me in Puerto Rico, in a town called Moca, out where we lived in a very wooded area. And my mother decided that she wanted to eat for that evening yuca, yautía, llame, these nightshade vegetables. And she asked me, go and pick them in the woods and bring them back to me. But don't stop. Don't do anything else. Just go and do what I'm telling you to do. So my mom said, okay, I'm going. So she heads out and she starts walking and walking and walking. She's picking up the fruit, the vegetables that she needs. And then she stops and she says, oh, I'm getting a little hungry, even though my mom is going to be cooking. I'm getting a little hungry. So she started to procrastinate, hold back and just enjoy her walk in the woods. And she started to get really, really hungry. She goes, and she was very athletic. She liked to do everything that boys did. In fact, she did stuff that was even better than what the boys did. She was a very physical type woman. So she said, let me climb up that mango tree, because that mango up there looks big and robust and ripe, and I have to have it. So she decides she's going to climb. So she's climbing up this tree. She climbs up and she sees this mango and it looks so delicious. So she puts her hand in there and she tries really hard to get it, and it's not coming down. And she goes again and she starts to pull it. As she pull it, she says, oh, it's loosening a little bit, and it looks even bigger than what I thought. So it slowly starts turning around. And as it turns around, she realizes the head of a giant snake as an anaconda. So she goes, oh no, ay Dios mío. So she runs down, she's running down the tree. And as she's running down, she's yelling, ayúdame, ayúdame, alguien help me, somebody help me. And she's screaming and yelling and she's running fast and running and running and running. And in the distance, there were farmers with machetes and they start yelling at her, vamos, ya vamos allá, ya vamos, we're coming, ya vamos, espera, sigue corriendo, keep running, and go around the trees, alrededor de los árboles, alrededor, vamos, camina, rápido. So she's running and running, and she starts going around the trees, and it slows down that giant snake a little bit. As the men are coming with their machetes, they get really close to this giant snake, this anaconda, and they start to try to chop it, but it started to lift itself up, and it looked like it was going to grab one of the farmers, but they pushed back, and my mom said it was the scariest moment of her life, and she stood against the tree and holding herself back, saying, oh no, what's going to happen? But they started going with their machetes and banging and hitting the snake. And it got to the snake, got so frustrated that eventually the snake just eased its way and started squirming its way out back into the woods. Oh, my mom was so relieved. And the farmer said, now go home, take your vegetables and go home. And don't be out here anymore at this time. And my mother said, okay, I'm on my way. So she runs home. And she says, here, Mom, here's the fruit that you want. And the mom says, but what took you so long? I've been waiting for you. She says, it's just that I got a little hungry, so I climbed up to get a mango, and it turned out to be an anaconda, this giant, humongous snake. And she goes, well, did I tell you to stop? Did I tell you to get a mango? I told you to get fruit, get the vegetables, and get your little butt home. But instead, you stood up there. So that's good for you. That serves you right. He should have taken a bite out of you. So my grandma takes the fruit and the vegetables, and she put all the vegetables in this huge pot, and she started cooking all the llame, yautía, and even yuca that she brought, put it all in a pot to cook that dinner. As my mother went to her room, shaking her head, saying, oh, that's my mom for you. I could never do anything right.